Hello and welcome back to the LTN Pulse podcast. This is a show where we have conversations with LTN staff, missionaries, high-level volunteers, and dig into and discover what they are reading, watching, playing, and experiencing in nerd culture. LTN Pulse is a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. I am your host, Luke. I definitely didn't have any struggles at the beginning of this podcast and or technical difficulties, and I am joined.
I am Michael. I am a podcast producer. I stream on Twitch, and I think that the best duo on a TV show is Gumball and Darwin Watterson from The Amazing World of Gumball. And that's my gauntlet thrown to Luke for his last episode.
That's Michael's spicy take. Yes.
Yep.
Ouch.
Hit it in the comments, Spotify and YouTube. Who you think the best TV duo is? I'm coming
that hurts my soul a little bit, but it's okay. I will allow it. I did not mention I am the LTN missions director of missions at Love Thy Nerd, recruiting, training, and leading real live in-person mission trips to conventions around the US. So if you're interested in that, hit us up. But me and my friend Michael are joined by none other than Sam and Drew Villeneuve. That rhymes. You guys tell us about yourself. Happy to have you guys on. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night. Sam, let's start with you. What is your involvement with LTN? How did you come about?
Yeah. So I am the director of org health for Love Thy Nerd. So what does that mean? That is admin. That's a little bit of HR. That's a little bit of event planning. Kind of a little bit of everything. I came across LTN a couple years ago through Drew, actually, which I think he found them on Twitch, and he was like, "Hey, let's go on this mission trip that's pretty local to our house." And I was like, and now here we are.
So you're like the glue, basically, that holds LTN together, is what I'm hearing.
Sometimes,
absolutely. I can attest to that. Yes,
and
she's the sane one that keeps all of us level-headed for sure. How about you, Drew?
As far as getting plugged in, yeah, kind of like Sam said, I came across actually Luke streaming on Twitch at my previous manufacturing day job, and realized that it was an organization, not just some guy in his basement, and kind of knew that missionally that's what I wanted to do too, or something along those lines, and joined a Discord, hung around, and here we are a couple years later. I no longer have a day job, and I'm doing mission work and nerd culture full time.
Hey, me too. No day jobs.
Just 24/7 jobs, right?
Oh man, you're not kidding. What time is it right now? It feels like midnight. You're not kidding. I remember that was Strong Tower Con, was the local con mission trip you were talking about, right? That was where we met in person. It's always fun meeting people that you saw on the internet.
Where is Strong Tower Con?
It is in Brookfield, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee area.
So,
nice.
Some would say in the middle of nowhere because people believe Wisconsin is in the middle of nowhere. But I promise you, Wisconsin is a state, and the convention is in a somewhat larger city within the state.
It's true. I've been to middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and that is definitely not it.
Right.
Well, I mean, hey, I only know Waukesha because that is where Lester Paulson, I want to say, is his last name. Les Paul of Gibson Les Paul Guitars is from Waukesha. He's the Wizard of Waukesha. So that's my only accurate fact that I have or know about Waukesha.
Well, that's a fact I didn't know.
There, so that's all I've ever heard about.
Oh,
it's like
sorry if I've triggered something from your childhood.
Like, oh, not again. I've heard this already.
Didn't know you grew up there.
Right.
Drew, what else do you do? What is your involvement with LTN besides mission trips?
Primarily running local game events. Right now, We have about 3 events that we run monthly at different locations. One's at a church, one's at a coffee shop, one's at our local game shop. Just basically providing a space for gamers and community building from there.
Yeah.
So that's the primary other thing. And then kid wrangling.
Kid wrangling, of course.
Between kid wrangling, local events, and conventions, that's most of my time.
If you are listening to this and or watching it on the YouTubes and either Sam or Drew disappears, it's due to some kid wrangling, most likely. But we do it live. We do no takes. We just plow right through, unless it's at the very, very beginning.
When Luke
speaking of games, plowing on through, is there anything that both of y'all may be playing together separately that you're playing or really enjoying right now? Some cons have come around, maybe some new stuff has come out. Is there anything that you're particularly stoked about in nerd culture?
You go first.
Oh, okay.
Who do you want to go first? Ladies first. That sounds good.
Ladies first, thank you.
I'll probably be more long-winded.
Yeah, so we tend to play almost anything together. So a lot of tabletop stuff. I think lately we've been playing a lot of Everdell.
River Valley Glassworks,
the deluxe edition, obviously. Yeah.
With the glass pieces.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I will never go back to like base game pieces, probably ever again.
It's it's so tough because it's always that additional cost, but you're like, I could be playing with like glass pieces or metal coins or whatever. But
yeah.
See, now I don't have any premium game like board games like that, and now I'm scared to get into it because I feel like I'll never go back. My ignorance is my bliss right now.
We'll get you there.
Yes.
As you come on mission,
come to the dark side.
Just you gotta set your number, and if you go above that number, then you gotta get rid of games. You just gotta stick to your number.
I don't know who you are. But we've also been playing a lot of Drew's favorite game, and I will let him tell you all about it.
I know.
Luke might have a small idea.
I've been playing a bit of Star Wars Unlimited, the TCG. Yep.
Surprise!
That's been fun.
Surprise!
Bit. We did a little bit of the last convention with some of the LTN folk. Mm-hmm. I played Castlescape recently. That was a lot of fun. It's like kind of a deck builder with some area control. There's probably a bunch of other tabletop stuff that we play, but nothing that sticks out.
So you mentioned, Star Wars Unlimited. Myself, I got into this exactly like 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And now I have just probably a few hundred cards and 4 decks. I can't count. But yes, we played that at Strong Tower Con. Did a whole draft. That was super awesome. I love doing drafts. I love doing sealed tournaments and different things like that. What else? Let's focus in a little bit on Strong Tower Con. What else did you guys play besides Star Wars Unlimited? And how was it? How was Strong Tower? Sam?
I had a blast. It was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Strong Tower was good. I did a lot of behind the registration desk work, and so I didn't play a ton of games. I did get a couple rounds of Skyrise in, which is probably one of my new favorites. We got to play Metro Runner together. Mm-hmm. The designer taught that game, so we got to play that. And that was really fun. Yeah, it was a good... What would you even call it? It's not really like area control. It's more of like a worker placement.
I don't even know if I'd call it worker placement.
Tableau building.
I don't know.
There's a whole lot of things happening, but it's really great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was surprised by thematically. It wasn't something that stood out to me, but the game mechanics are all there for not something super heavy.
Sure.
So.
And That's Thunderworks, right? That publishes it, and
Yep.
they publish nothing but good things. I
Great
think
stuff.
I mean, the first Strong Tower Con we played. What was the
Tenpenny
game by
Parks.
them? Tenpenny Parks. Now we're back.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I also did
Mhm.
Year
Goblin
3.
Vaults, which is another Thunderworks game
Mhm.
with the designer at Strong Tower.
And maybe for people who listening that aren't familiar, Strong Tower Con is board game centric.
Yes. Yes. Very much so.
Yep.
They did add in a TTRPG element this year, which was new. So a lot of D&D happened, which people loved. So that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was their first year venturing into that side of things. Otherwise, it's all board games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I also ran Gnome Hollow, a couple games of that too.
I still have yet to play that, but
it's a cool one. It's worker placement, tile placement, set collection a little bit. Around
the pieces look super cool, and they're magnetic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool feature. They got little.
And that's not
to the
even
board.
the deluxe feature. That's like just the base feature.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
I
if you
want
like gnomes and flower gardens and mushrooms, that's your game.
There was a lot of mushroom games that came out this year, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
There's always
Very
a theme.
popular theme.
That and krill. There's a lot of krill, like whales and krill games coming out.
Yep. Mistwind is another one I played recently that I really enjoyed. Yep.
That one, I talked about that one on the last episode, I believe. And yeah, that's real good. I taught that a couple times at Strong Tower, and man, don't run 2 instances of really big games in one day back to back, because
that sounds really exhausting.
Your brain will be mush.
Mistwind is that's the whale like delivery based one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. I like it. You should play it. But I ran that one and Forges of Ravenshire, which like they're on their own, they're not bad, but like it ended up being just like 4 straight hours of 2 really big games, or games of that size, and it was a lot, and I was ready for a nap. The other days I padded it with River Valley Glassworks, and that was a wise decision. So future Luke, if you go back and listen to this, you should do that again.
Which you probably won't, because if I remember correctly, you don't like listening to your own voice.
Oh, that's true. I do not.
He'll catch it in the edit. He'll it'll be a note for him in the edit.
Legitimately just telling someone that. It might have been Michael.
I ran Star Wars Unlimited, some learn to plays as well. So that was very light, very easy. Good between other heavier game kind of thing too.
A wise decision.
Now, is Star Wars Unlimited kind of like, is it a like Magic the Gathering kind of thing with a Star Wars skin to it, or is it pretty like unique in in how it plays?
Yeah, there's a lot of similar mechanics. Very, very similar. The main difference is it's more back and forth action based and not play a bunch of cards and combo stuff. Magic has a bit more of that. There's a couple other, I think Hearthstone is got a lot of similar mechanics too. So some people have said kind of somewhere between Magic and Hearthstone. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! And Hearthstone.
I would agree.
Okay. I may have to.
I'm not familiar with those.
Grab some starter sets for me and my wife. She's a huge Star Wars fan as well, and so I feel like this is right up her alley.
And
you
it's
won't
like
be disappointed.
Yeah,
it's very approachable.
Taught it to. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's approachable. It's easy to learn, and like it doesn't break the bank. Like the 2 starter decks, like you buy a set, and it's like you could get it under $30 if you shop around.
Oh, I've got the Amazon page pulled up right now. And
I mean, yes, you can get the starter decks for super cheap, but then you're going to want more.
Exactly.
So you're saying I should just go ahead and get this $100 24 booster pack set just right out the gate. Just go ahead and go with that. Go all in. Okay.
100%.
And if you find like any
getting
with full art and hollow, you don't want those, so just send them to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't listen to Luke.
They're not worth anything.
Well, no. So I had, and actually probably in a box with my board game stuff. Actually, no, I definitely still do have cards, a ton of cards from the maybe 90s Star Wars card game, which is not great. The effects. Yes.
Oh.
That is great.
That's a special treat for those watching on YouTube. So if you're on Spotify or Apple, whatever, hop on over to the YouTubes. We're not even going to see what happened. Yeah.
Celebrating 90s classic card games. Oh,
it was Drew's favorite game. So
I still have my box.
Is the old school one is one of your favorites?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but I played it a lot as a kid.
Oh,
so how does it compare then to Unlimited?
I mean, I like Unlimited better.
Okay.
For a lot of reasons. I think it's more approachable. I think it's more fine-tuned for the industry.
Sweet.
The CCG 90s game has a lot more like weird nuance rules to it.
That makes a lot of sense, because we would, when my wife and I would play, we would often end in like almost deadlocks where like maybe her deck was more about like space battles and mine was more about on ground battles or vice versa. And we probably didn't know how to play super great because the rules are like very old and hard to really dig into. And yeah, it was one of those things where we tried it a few times and we're like, we want to love this, but it's difficult. I imagine Unlimited, like you're saying, it's easier to pick up, play. Actually, like the act of playing it runs a lot more smoothly and that sort of thing. So that's it's very tempting. May have to do a little surprise gift. She doesn't listen to the podcast, so she will know.
The CCG game had a lot more like card counting and probably skill depth, but
I believe that.
This one, like we did the draft at Strong Tower, and I had not really built anything yet, and that's you just like draft cards. And at one point, you just commit to a color or two and just draft those cards and hope they would like work well in a deck together. And like it seemed pretty seamless. Like as much as you matched up colors, like you had some sort of synergy. So you could just throw a bunch of same color cards together. You have some sort of synergy and you can play relatively easily, especially with other people kind of doing the same thing. It was very smooth, easy to pick up. There's few keywords right now and rules since it's so new. Magic, you've got, they made this rule back in 1997 and you can't do that. It's like, well, okay. What are the decks that you guys like running right now, and kind of explain what they do?
Oh, jeepers. Right now I have a Mandalorian deck, but it's space focused.
Like what's the space to ground unit ratio?
It's like reverse of what a typical deck would be.
Okay.
So maybe like, I don't know, like 20-ish ground and 10-ish space is pretty typical. It's kind of flipped. So there's like 20-ish space and 10-ish ground.
I saw, when I was looking up Kylo decks, I saw one that was like 30 some space units and like 5 ground units. And I was just shocked. I want to try that. Has it been going well for you?
No.
The space heavy?
But I'm having fun, so that's what half the battle is having fun doing it.
Well, I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that, and just like so deadpan. Just, no, it's not a fun deck at all. Well, okay,
it is a fun deck. I just isn't doing that well.
Okay,
primarily because I'm missing some like big rare and legendary cards that kind of fill in the extra punch, to finish an opponent off. But
yeah,
I'll get them eventually.
I have
proxies.
Oh, sure. I haven't done proxies yet. I have bought some singles. Like I bought a few like U-Wings. I don't know if you've seen those. You can like search the top 10 cards of your deck and then like pull out units that equal up to 3 power or 7 power.
Yep.
Or cost, and just like play them for free. And I'm like, oh, absolutely. That seems broken.
Yep.
So I
It's
bought a
very
couple
good
of
card.
those. I bought a Darksaber. I bought a few things. So I've got a Cad Bane deck. That's all underworld buffs and different things. And then I have a Sabine deck that is just all like power, all like dealing damage every turn, in hopes that I can just destroy the base in as few turns as possible. So, like you said, I'm missing a lot of stuff. So, hopefully, future drafts and different events will have. I'll pull some of those. Moving on. We talked a lot about what we're playing these days. Oh, Sam's back.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
We're
Sam,
just getting into the introduction about Star Wars Unlimited.
Well, I was going to ask what deck you're running.
I
was waiting for you. Yeah, we started over. I was waiting to ask what deck you're running. Just real quick.
I just created a Wookiee Mandalorian deck, which I was skeptical it would do well, but it beat Drew. So that's really all that matters. I don't care if it doesn't beat anybody else.
Was it Drew's deck that he doesn't have fun with? Or
has fun but doesn't win with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it was a different deck that we put together. Okay. I have another Darth Vader Trooper deck.
Ooh.
That sounds
very
fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my no proxy playtest deck, because it doesn't have a ton of rare and legendaries in it, but it works well with the cards that are in it for a kind of it's probably like the equivalent of a starter deck, power, strength kind of thing. So it's not bad, but it's not punchy.
Yeah.
Sure. And sometimes you just got to play like new cards just to figure out the synergy, figure out how they play, where they fit into a deck. The first time I played my Cad Bane deck against Matt, I lost miserably, and I was like, oh, that's why I need this, and this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now I have them.
Yes.
You're mine next time, Matt. You're going down. What do you guys, other than gaming, like what have you guys been up to? Start with reading. Let's go to reading.
So I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
It counts.
Because I don't have time to sit down and actually read a physical book. But I can listen when I'm cleaning or wrangling children. I've been really into rom-coms that probably aren't extremely appropriate for all listening ears. And so
Make sure you wear your headphones.
We'll leave it at that. Yep. But they are funny, which is primarily why I love them. And then naturally the like cute little romance that comes out of it. But that's been my go-to lately.
Are you doing that through like an Audible subscription or Spotify audiobooks?
Audible.
Nice. Yeah. Yep.
I need to crank through some of my audiobooks because I have a ton on the backlog. And then I also have like 15 Audible credits through Amazon. So I just need to go buy like 15 books and then plow through.
Do you get Audible credits through Prime?
Yeah.
What? My world is
I think so.
Disarray
I don't know where I get them from if not.
Oh my God.
The Lord provides
with Prime.
Yes.
In mysterious ways. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have Prime. I was thankfully gifted it. It was a birthday present, a year of Audible. And I was like, nice. Well, thank you.
That's super cool. Yeah. I like non-serious media to just unplug and take a break from real life. Because sometimes you just need some obnoxious, outrageous, out of this world love stories that don't make any sense unless they're in a book.
Never actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Drew, what about you, man?
Drew doesn't read.
Oh, what's a book?
He doesn't do
That's
no,
okay.
that's
I think-
not true. I actually do have 2 books that I started about a year ago. And I'm about 2 chapters into both of them.
Yes, that's me too, man.
Yep.
Once in a while, I'll pick them up at a coffee shop and read a couple pages.
Yeah. Dude,
It's funny,
no
but
shame.
it's also real because usually the books that I pick up are ones that are very dense and they're very like niche to how I want to be a better human being and treat other people. And so it's like 2 pages of like this kind of chew on this for the next month of your life and how to apply it kind of thing. And if I just read through all that, it just goes in one ear and out the other. So that's why it takes me forever.
Yeah, dude, I bet like 99% of the people listening are going to be like, you know what? Yeah. If we're being honest with ourselves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got 2 books. Sam knows this because the org health extraordinaire. I got 2 books to help me in my job at LTN. I'm like at the beginning of the year, I'm like halfway through both of them, and I probably need to just start over at this point. But they're really good so far. But I'm just terrible at reading. I want to so bad, and then I get distracted. So maybe I'll do I'll get the Audible versions as well, and like have it read to me as I'm following along.
There you go. Yeah, or I mean, you drive a lot right now, so you could just listen to them while you drive.
I do. What do I do?
You listen to playlists on Spotify.
I do listen to some playlists. It's different. It's different every time I drive. But anytime I fly, I'm like, I'm going to read this book or I'm going to listen to this book. And I end up just watching like a movie I've seen a bajillion times. That's like playing on the airplane. It's like, oh yeah, I definitely need to be doing this. It's not good.
Sometimes it's the chill you need on a plane though, instead of like racking your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the other thing too, because Sam was saying she's reading, fun fiction books. I don't read those. Well, I already admitted I don't read, but I don't read like for fun. I want something to add. It's like I want to learn something from this. If I'm going to read, if I'm going to waste my time reading, not really. It's not a waste of time.
Fiction,
kids stay in school.
Show.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that aren't wastes of time, what about TV shows we're binging right now? Anything that y'all are really digging into?
Movies, YouTubes.
Yeah.
We don't have the time for that.
Yep. Honestly,
that's not really true.
I picked up.
What did we last watch together? Acolyte.
Acolyte. Yep. We watched Acolyte together.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Acolyte? Did you finish it?
Yep.
We did. I hated the ending.
I
hated it.
I watched an episode. I'll be brutally honest. I watched one episode.
It ebbed and flowed for me. I was intrigued in the beginning, and then there was a couple episodes where I was like, what are we watching? And then a couple more episodes that were really good, and the ending just failed me.
Yeah.
Asia enjoyed it. Asia, I envy Asia's just like outlook on like visual media like that, because she's like, it was a show. It entertained me for 9 episodes or whatever.
Right.
I enjoyed being entertained, and I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Luke is a man of principle above all else.
Yes.
Sure.
Yep. I did watch the first episode of what is it, Rings of Power.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to binge this because I always wanted to watch this, but we didn't have access to Prime for a while. And we do right now. And I got through one episode because I just haven't had time to go back and watch more. Because I think they're coming out or are starting the second season.
Yeah, the second season's live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Slowly
But
dripping
I'm
that
watching
out,
a
I
lot
believe.
of football.
Here we go.
Tis the
season, Jinx. Got him.
No,
Luke can't talk for the rest of the episode. Who's your team?
The Packers. I mean, we live in Wisconsin.
Obviously.
Born and raised.
Well, I mean, so, some people are very hardcore about NFL. I'm in the Southeast, so college football is that's
also the
almost
Badgers
equal
are
to
great.
religion. So you gotta ask. You gotta ask.
You gotta ask. I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah. College football as well, or are we just
I love college football as well. I don't put as much time and energy into making sure I get to watch it like I do the NFL.
Gotcha.
Also high school football. Like this last weekend, it was football Friday night at the high school. We're going to watch college football Saturday. We're going to watch NFL Sunday.
And I like the
whole weekend
progression through the weekend. You have high school, then college, then NFL.
Absolutely.
Nature
is
is
much for
beautiful.
me sometimes.
I was about to say, Drew, I think you're loving it over there. Oh, no.
His brother at our wedding was like, I'm glad somebody could finally get my brother to sit down and watch a Packer game. You're welcome.
I played some sports growing up. I just never really interested in watching them on TV. If I'm going to watch something on TV, it's going to be a movie or a video game.
That's fair. That's fair. So I grew up in Atlanta. So I mean, outside of the Braves, which is ups and downs, like I went to Georgia Tech and we have the Falcons. You can't really count on them. And so it's hard to really get in to either of those when the seasons
you love them anyway.
Go the way they do. I do. I mean, I'll always have a special heart place in my heart for the Yellow Jackets, but I can't let myself down every year like that.
I imagine that's how Vikings fans feel and Lions fans feel.
Oof.
Probably even Bears fans, although I don't know if they ever get their hopes up. So,
wow,
I love it.
Fired.
I love it.
We're not biased here at Love That. We love all football teams, and
unless your name is Luke and don't really know what we're talking about,
can throw as much spice around as they want. Like I'm here for it. Let's go. Get at us in the comments if you agree or disagree. Come on.
Yeah.
We're going to have the thumbnail is now going to be y'all with Packers football helmets on.
Yeah.
Just cheese heads.
Just, yes. Oh, cheese heads. Yes. Perfect. Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
Excellent.
We were at Sean Tower Con and there was a gentleman that had a Wisconsin outline and then a cheese head on it.
Awesome.
And I texted Matt and I was like, hey, Matt, look behind you right now. And so he looked behind him and he was like, yes, please. It was good.
Where are you getting your Cheesehead Wisconsin tattoo?
I was thinking just kind of right here.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Right on the forehead.
A little piece of cheese right on the forehead.
Yep.
And then just put like
perfect.
American underneath it in small letters.
American cheese. Cheese. I know how much you love American cheese.
Oh yeah.
No.
It was a long Strong Tower convention weekend of being disappointed with the cheese.
And it was in Wisconsin.
Most places had American.
American cheese is just not cheese in my mind.
That's fine.
And for being in Wisconsin, there was not a lot of variety of cheeses at places, which you are kind of like, why? Why do they not have all the options?
Now, I'm scared to ask, but I kind of do want to go down the road a little bit of American cheese is not cheese. This is fascinating to me. I would love to nerd out about some cheese right now, even as somebody who's lactose intolerant. Let's get in the weeds about some cheese.
All right, let's do it.
Go for it.
Hold on. I'm Googling what percent of American cheese is actually cheese. American cheese must contain at least 51% real cheese by weight. So it's at least 51% real.
And only 51% in most cases.
What is the other 49 if not cheese?
That's the question.
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's the hot dog of cheeses. You guys like hot dogs, right?
That's a good analogy.
I don't like hot dogs.
I don't like hot dogs either. And we don't feed our kids hot dogs with any regularity.
Accurate.
So you got some fancy grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh, but that's
not just throwing down some
cheddar and pepper jack.
Mm-hmm. Throw on some.
Does not have the
Gouda.
same melting
Yep.
profile.
Yep.
See, I'm
It sure
a
does.
Colby
Mozzarella.
Jack with slice of Kraft, but I could see swapping out the Kraft for maybe a cheddar, something of same color profile, perhaps.
I will accept American cheese on a grilled cheese with another cheese. That's acceptable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a bonding agent more than anything else.
Right, exactly.
All right.
It gives you the experience of the texture. Yep.
Next time we're all together, we need to have a grilled cheese off and just make a ton of grilled cheeses. Because now all I'm thinking about,
Can we
did you
just
guys
do
ever
cheese
watch
tasting? A
cheese
blind
tasting?
cheese tasting.
That'd be good too. Well, because the problem with grilled cheese is you got to get into the breads then too. And
Sure. Okay. But I'm also not going to eat American cheese just by the slice. It's got to be on something. So I'm not going to blind taste it. That's gross. That's like eating Spam raw. You got to cook the Spam. You got to do something with the American cheese.
Y'all can trust Luke on Spam. He has a Spam as one of his emotes on Twitch.
It's true.
He knows Spam.
A Spam stuffy and a Spam pop figure and actual Spam in my kitchen.
It's good.
Spam guy.
It's good.
It's the American cheese of deli meats. And American cheese is the hot dog of cheese. There's a whole graph. We'll put it on Twitter later or something.
Yeah. Check the comments on YouTube, right? Isn't that the same?
It's the same thing as saying a corn dog is just a cheap beef Wellington. Or a beef Wellington is a fancy corn dog.
Which way is it?
This is blowing my mind.
Or the egg. I mean, I don't know.
You're gonna learn something. This podcast is now educational.
We're only going to talk about food from this point on this podcast. I like to consider myself a bit of a Pop-Tart connoisseur. So that's even though my tastes are extremely basic, I will always S-rank the unfrosted strawberry because it's the classic. It's the grandfather. Ooh. But
what do you feel like? How do you feel about the s'mores?
Oh, I love s'mores. Love the s'mores.
Right? We can be friends for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Toasted or frozen. Cinnamon's good. Have you had the snickerdoodle?
No.
There's a snickerdoodle?
Is like it's like a slightly more I don't want to say it's almost a step above brown sugar cinnamon. If you like brown sugar cinnamon and you want maybe a little more cinnamony flavor, try the snickerdoodle. You will not regret it.
Interesting.
It is fantastic.
It's going on the grocery
really
list.
Good.
Well, as much as I want to talk about Pop-Tarts, and it's a lot, I really do. That'll be the next podcast that we start is the Pop cast. Pod-Tart? Pod-Tart. Oh man, we're doing it.
Yep.
But I want to know what is going on. We talked at the beginning, we talked about your realms in LTN. Like what's coming up? What is next for you guys in your different areas? Drew, I would like to hear from you because you mentioned a little bit of it, but what can we expect? Like, go ahead and go through the whole invite, like invite people out to what's going on.
I mean, formally just local game events. We have 3 a month pretty much that we do. One's at a coffee shop, one's at a game shop, and one's at our church. So if you're in Southwest Wisconsin area, that's where we are.
When's the next
How
one?
Are those posted anywhere, or how do you get the word out about those? I guess I should have asked you this ahead of time.
Primarily, I send out actually personal invites.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, people want me to contact them with Discord, email, text messages, Facebook Messenger. As that list gets bigger and bigger, it's not ideal. I'll have to pivot into something else. But
yeah,
we use Facebook too quite a bit, like the Facebook groups,
yeah, we have
our discussion page and all that kind of stuff. But
I have done some physical flyer printing and posting them up like on campus, and I have a network of friends that make that not optimal, but decent for marketing, and people get the word around eventually. So it's a slow growth for sure.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, listeners, if you're in Southwest Wisconsin, find us on the socials or on our Discord. Find Drew, Wandering Knight, and ask for your personalized invitation to game night.
Yeah.
Handcrafted.
Handcrafted with love.
Every
Handcrafted.
time.
Sam, what's coming up in your area?
A lot, actually. We have Nerd Culture Ministry Summit happening in November out in Colorado. Colorado Springs, it's a really great time and it's going to be in a castle, actually, which I think is really important to say because the castle is just beautiful. And how many times can you say that you have been to a conference in a castle?
And you can stay at the castle, right?
Yes. Yep. So you can stay on the castle grounds. We are,
if you reserved a room
very
already.
low on rooms, like 2 left, I think. So listeners, jump on it quick.
Get them.
But about building, the conference is essentially all about building bridges between churches and nerd culture. And how do we help people understand nerd culture and the value in it? And also, we have a lot of nerds that come out to the conference. And so I'm showing them that they're valued and loved and what they care about matters. And it's a really good time. We have lots of great speakers coming. Jacqueline Parrish, York Moore, Bubba Stallcup. I've heard of him a little bit. Yeah, he's pretty good. Lamar
that guy's gonna
Hardwig. Lamar Hardwig will be there. He's the author of a couple of books, but he is a pastor who has autism, who is also part of the Black community. And so he knows all about feeling completely isolated and apart. And so he'll be there to kind of help people understand how to be inclusive, which is great. And so lots of great speakers, lots of great breakouts, game nights for 4 nights. I mean, how can you turn that down? So
that's gonna be awesome.
It'll be good. Yeah.
I'm super
then
stoked.
PAX Unplugged. Yeah. Super stoked.
Where can one
Unplugged, yeah.
Well, where can one register for said NCMS?
For NCMS. So you can go to ncmsummit.com.
Do it.
And
sign up
register
before the castle rooms are gone, or sign up after. It's your choice. But you should come either way.
There are hotels in the area if we do run out of rooms.
Yeah.
So we'll find a place for you.
Yep, absolutely. And PAX Unplugged in December?
Yes.
Your first one, right?
My first PAX, yep. Drew went last year, so I get to go this year. I'm excited.
That was my first official gaming convention besides Strong Tower, really.
Yeah.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, or should I say my first decent sized one?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you were both at Gen Con this year, which is just blows them all out of the water.
Yes. Yes.
Are you looking forward to anything specific at PAX? Not that you know much about it yet because you haven't been, but
yeah.
Star Wars Unlimited promo cards.
Did I just hear something?
It must have been some weird technology
maybe. I don't really know.
glitch. Yeah. I think we're picking up a McDonald's drive-through.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. There's a couple different things I'm excited for.
Yeah.
So I also, my other job when I'm not doing LTN and mom life, I do the admin financial side of things for Lux Digital Church. And that whole staff team is going to be at PAX. And so I'm excited to hang out with them in real life and be with them and serve with them as a team there, as well as like the LTN team. And so that crossover is going to be both unique and super fun all at the same time. And I'm excited to see my friends in the industry, people from All Play, people from the app, Roxley, just kind of all of them. Elf Creek Games. I've just made so many friends through the last couple of years, and I'm just excited to have them all in one space rather than spread out across the United States.
That's the beauty about cons, and what we talk about when we go do these mission trips is it's not a short-term mission trip per se. It's a long-term relationship build. And so all of those names you named, all of those publishers, we see them show after show after show, and we have interactions online, and it's just a constant investment. And the con family is real. You keep running into your family, and it's like a family reunion every time. So
for sure,
always a good feeling. And if you're interested in coming on a mission trip specifically PAX Unplugged, lovethynerd.com/outreach. There's a big old button that says PAX Unplugged. We still have some spaces left. If you're listening to this at the time of recording, we do. When you listen to this, we might still have some spaces available. So go sign up, schedule a meeting with me. Would love to talk to you, get you involved, or take a look at some of our other stuff. We've got Tantrum Con coming up next year, end of January, which I'm trying to convince Michael over here. Come to that one. We'll see.
I should be able to go. It's in my backyard. So.
Don't mean to put you on the spot, but
I think I heard the voice again, and it said yes, he's going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is.
No, yeah, I don't think there's any way that I will miss it this year. I was very close to going last year, and this year it is an absolute must. Absolutely.
Yes. So LTN Pulse Live, maybe recording. I don't know.
We're hoping for it. We can make it happen. We have the technology.
We have the technology. But we got so many shows coming up. So pop in lovethynerd.com/outreach, browse around, sign up for a mission trip. Would love to have you. Anything else you need to add to what's coming up? What's happening? Same old.
Yeah, I have a smaller convention. It's about the size of Strong Tower. That's in end of January.
Middle of
January, I guess. Midwinter Gaming Convention.
I knew it.
And that's literally like right down the road from where Strong Tower.
Yep.
Yeah.
Waukesha, Milwaukee area. So yeah, I'll be volunteering there.
Fun fact about that convention. Last year, the snowstorm was so bad that it knocked the power out. And so then they got to play games with their phone lights because they didn't kick them out. And so they just played games in the dark.
Good old Wisconsin.
So if you want to experience a potential snowstorm where it knocks the power out, come on down. We'd love to have you come with us.
Won't stop the gamers from gaming.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then I guess this is kind of fresh off the press too. Our local game shop is looking for a little more help, and I'm going to be helping them. So we'll see how that relationship continues to progress, but that's pretty exciting for me since it's kind of the industry I want to be in and be a part of and build community in.
That's awesome. You heard it here first on the LTN Pulse. It's educational and breaking news.
All the things in one podcast.
Yeah.
Who knew?
That's super awesome. I look forward to hearing more about that and how that goes. And anyway, we can help, sending people to come buy stuff, I guess. Go find Drew in your local game shop.
Super awesome local game shop owner who will ship stuff out if you want to buy stuff from him.
Send me a list of what singles they have for Star Wars Unlimited. And if they have any Dark Saber.
Drew's going to get all the first pass and all the great ones.
That's true. It's true. Who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I don't think they're there yet, but
they'll get there.
It's
Not
primarily
yet.
an MTG shop.
Well, that's their loss.
Yeah.
Well, you can start. You can start
the
Star Wars Unlimited aspect of that.
They have organized play, and we just started it. So
nice. Very cool.
We're
very cool.
We're just getting kicked up.
That's
That's
cool.
what you do too. Every Monday.
Mm-hmm. Just started doing that Mondays.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered. Somebody texted me they were doing a draft tonight, and I didn't tell them I couldn't make it. I'm the worst friend ever.
Rip.
I literally just remembered. Oops. I'll text them and apologize. Oh, but thank you guys for coming on the show so late at night with kids running around, escaping bedtime. I know it's a sacrifice, and so is this ministry sometimes. It's a lot, and I appreciate you guys being involved and being a part of it, and I am very stoked and appreciative to call you guys friends and colleagues.
Yeah, and it was great meeting y'all just tonight as I'm
Yeah.
kind of getting to meet and learn more about just with different staff members and high level volunteers and do here through the podcast. So yeah, we really appreciate you you joining us and sharing what's happening with LTN. This is great. It's why we're doing this.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
You're
Thanks for
so
having
very
us.
welcome. Yeah.
It was fun.
Do you guys have, what is your LTN link? lovethynerd.com/Sam and Drew Villeneuve. Don't you have a page? You don't have a page.
We do. It's partner dash with dash the dash Villeneuve.
We will try to remember to put a link in the description
Yes,
and show
absolutely.
notes.
And I'm
Yes.
taking a note. Remind Bubba to create alias with something shorter. Okay.
Yep. I mean,
Bubba,
you can
if
just
you're
search our,
listening-
you could probably search us on the
Yeah.
Love That Nerd site and find us too.
Or the Google machine works too.
Yes. Google machine, Sam and Drew Villeneuve.
LTN.
Find out more. LTN. But these guys are awesome. Definitely worth partnering with or just following along. They've got newsletters. They got all sorts of stuff. So please don't hesitate to connect with them.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, listeners, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, joining us on another episode of the LTN Pulse podcast, where we're finding out what people are reading, watching, doing, experiencing in nerd culture. You can join in on the fun with what you're doing in nerd culture, what you're playing, what you're experiencing over on Love Thy Nerd's Discord server. You can get linked to that through lovethynerd.com/Discord or their Facebook community. That's lovethynerd.com/Facebook. And, if you like what you heard or what you saw here, whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple or Spotify, we'd appreciate the sub or maybe a comment, maybe a like, it'd be really great. Helps to get the podcast out there to more members of the community, spreads the visibility just a little bit. And so, yeah, if you're listening, you can watch us. You can see our beautiful faces. Or if you'd rather not see us and would rather listen on the way to work, you know where to find us. We're wherever you find podcasts. And last but not least, if you're interested in partnering with Love Thy Nerd, helping out in any way you can visit lovethynerd.com/partner. And that will help get you plugged in. And on behalf of LTN Pulse, I'm Michael.
I'm Luke.
I'm Drew.
And we'll catch you next time.
I'm Sam.
Drew and Sam. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.